Dolphins Today is presented by Aura, a all-in-one digital safety company. We're going to tell you a little bit more about them later on in today's show. Welcome into Dolphins Today. I am your host, Will Scott, and on today's show, we're going to get into a Dolphins trade mailbag. I always enjoy doing these because I get to hear your creative ideas in terms of trades the Dolphins could make. Before we get into those ideas, go down in the comments, name a player that you want the Dolphins to trade for. It doesn't have to be a player we're talking about on today's show. You can name anybody you want. Go down in the comments. Let me know which player you want on the Miami Dolphins. Let's get into our first trade idea. This coming in from my guy, Nicholas Navarro. He says, go get Jessie Bates, and the Dolphins would be giving up Byron Jones, a cornerback, a fourth-round pick this next season, and then a fourth-round pick in 2024. I'll tell you if that's enough a little bit later. Let's talk about Bates, though, first. Now, Bates got franchise tagged, but he hasn't signed his tender yet. He wants to be paid. He might sit out. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. He wants to be paid like a top safety. He wants to become one of the highest paid, maybe even the highest paid safety in the National Football League. Now, Bates last year in the regular season didn't put up the same numbers we saw in 2020, but he really turned it on in the playoffs. 20 tackles, 2 interceptions, 6 pass breakups in 4 playoff games was a huge part of that Bengals Super Bowl run. Looking at the year-by-year stats, we mentioned in 2021, we didn't see the same numbers we saw in 2020 when he put up a 90.7 PFF grade, was one of the best defenders, not just one of the best safeties in the league, but one of the best defenders in football. Now, the trade proposed by Nicholas, I would do it. I don't think the Bengals would. They would be taking on a very big contract from Byron Jones. And yes, he did restructure it as we take a look at his base salary for this next year. He's going to get a little bit over $1 million in 2022. But then he's owed about $25 million the next 2 seasons. That's why I don't think the Bengals would do this trade. Now, Byron Jones, he's a quality corner, but he hasn't done really what's been expected of him in Miami. He has not made top corner money. He was really good in Dallas. He's been decent, hasn't been as good in Miami, but the Dolphins don't need Bates. The Dolphins are absolutely loaded in their secondary. So much young talent across the board. Yeah, Jessie Bates would be great. You would have to pay him a lot of money, though. Why would you do that when you have Brandon Jones and Javon Holland? Javon Holland, as a rookie last season, was one of the top 10 best safeties in football. He has superstar potential. In fact, he will be a superstar in this league, I think, sooner rather than later. Watch out for him in year 2. And then Brandon Jones, a much improved Brandon Jones that we saw last year in his second NFL season. I don't think the Dolphins would trade for Jessie Bates, but Nicholas's proposal, who would say no to it? Would it be the Dolphins, type MIA, or would it be the Cincinnati Bengals, type CIN? I think the Bengals are going to want a first-round pick to deal Jessie Bates. I don't think the Dolphins would give up a first, nor should they. Carter Reimer, what's going on? He says the Dolphins should go get Saquon Barkley and trade Myles Gaskin and a third-round pick. Very interesting idea, Carter. Now, when you look at Saquon, yeah, there's upside there, but the guy has really struggled to stay on the field. After that rookie season, a couple years back when he won Rookie of the Year, he's really had problems staying on the field. Yeah, you do need to potentially get rid of Myles Gaskin. I have him as a cut or trade candidate. But if you trade for Saquon Barkley, you're going to be trading for a guy that you'd probably want to be your first running back. You signed Sony Michel. You signed Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert. You really don't need Saquon Barkley. That's why I don't think the Dolphins would make this move. It's not a bad deal, though, because Myles Gaskin, you really don't need him, and you would just be giving up a third-round pick, just one draft pick, to go and get Barkley. I'm going to get to another running back that might be a little bit more likely to trade for later on in the show. But first, subscribe if you want daily Dolphins content. We're giving you a Dolphins video each and every single day. So go down and hit that big red subscribe button right now. So I asked in the community page, send me your Dolphins trade ideas. And this is what Winter Skull 69 said, who, again, I have said he is the only person in the world that wants JC to Miami more than me. He says Dolphins receive JC Tretter and JC Tretter receives money. That's awesome. Clap it up. Shout out to Winter Skull 69, one of our most loyal subs here on Dolphins Today. I like that trade, Winter Skull 69. The Dolphins should do that trade. And you should go get your free trial at aura.com/chatsports because Aura is offering this. They're going to offer financial fraud protection, identity theft protection, online and device security. They're not just protecting you, they're protecting your whole family. They offer family plans to protect 5 people. Look, we all have our credit cards, get compromised from time and time again. Our banks call us and they're like, yo, you got this suspicious charge. Aura's going to prevent that from happening. They're going to keep you safe online and with your banking as well. You can start your 14-day free trial. I repeat, free trial. Take advantage of it at aura.com/chatsports. You got to go to that link if you want the free trial. That link in the comments and in the description of this video. John Ruiz, what's going on? John, I appreciate you always down in the comments. I think you probably have the most comments of anyone on our channel, and nobody wants Deebo Samuel more than you, John. So I put this trade package together to go get Deebo Samuel. I think this might be enough to go get Deebo. Now, we've talked about Deebo a lot. This is actually the first time we've talked about him on this channel in over a month because the trade rumors with Deebo have died down. Here's the package I put together. 49ers get a first-round pick, a second-round pick. Dolphins get Deebo Samuel. It's kind of similar to the package that you went and got Tyreek Hill for. I don't know if this would be enough, but this is the max that I would give up for Deebo Samuel because, again, you don't really need him. You're pretty set at wide receiver. That's all I would give up for Deebo. That's the most I'd give up. But a Deebo trade is unlikely at this point. And I don't just mean with the Dolphins. I mean with anybody. Now, yeah, he hasn't reported to OTAs. He wants to get paid. But I think the 49ers have made it clear enough that they intend on keeping Deebo Samuel. They don't want to trade him. They had an opportunity to trade him during the draft. They could have traded with the New York Jets for the 10th overall pick in the draft. They opted not to do it. They probably would have gotten more than just the 10th overall pick, too, maybe a second or third rounder. The Jets, they haven't gotten anybody. They're the Jets. They're so bad. But I just don't see a Deebo trade happening at this point. I think the 49ers likely to pay Deebo Samuel. The only way that Deebo becomes a Dolphin is if he becomes a free agent. And if Deebo becomes a free agent, then I think the Miami Dolphins would be very much in the mix. He's in Miami all the time. There's rumors he was looking for a house in Miami. His trainer's in Miami. He's there all the time. So I could see it if he becomes a free agent. I could also see it if he's still in trade rumors middle of the season and the Dolphins have an injury. Maybe then you go and trade for Deebo Samuel. What is the percent chance that Deebo Samuel gets traded to Miami? Go down in the comments section and let me know. It's the pinned comment on today's video. When you're here with an ad break, go down and let me know what you think. The percent chance that Deebo gets traded to the Dolphins. C-Teach 101, what's going on? He says, I would trade Austin Jackson for a 5th-round pick. So would I. Here's what I put together. The Steelers are one of the teams that was mentioned on our NFL Live show as a team that could trade for Austin Jackson, a team that needs help at offensive tackle. So the Dolphins giving the Pittsburgh Steelers a 5th-round pick, the Steelers receive Austin Jackson. Now, let's say the Dolphins sign Darrell Williams, which I don't think they're the favorites to do it, but he's still out there. You can go get him to be your right tackle. You should 100% trade Austin Jackson if you sign Darrell Williams because there's no need for Austin Jackson. You start Darrell Williams at right tackle, and then you make Liam Eichenberg your backup right tackle. So Williams your right tackle, and then Eichenberg the backup. There's no need for Austin Jackson on this roster if that happens. Here are other teams that might be interested in trading for Austin Jackson. The Atlanta Falcons need help across the board. I can't name the number of positions that they need help. The Chicago Bears, the same way. Denver Broncos might need some tackle help to protect Russell Wilson. Las Vegas Raiders, a team that have been linked to Darrell Williams a lot, as well as the Los Angeles Chargers. Will Austin Jackson be traded? If they sign Darrell Williams, I'd say yes. If not, I think he's going to be starting at right tackle week 1 for the Dolphins. Go down in the comments, type T for trade or type S for stay. I want to know what you think. Rob Wilson, what's going on, Rob? He says, what would a Christian McCaffrey trade look like? Christian McCaffrey, someone who's been in trade rumors throughout the offseason, and we had that question earlier about Saquon. If you were to trade for running back, this is who you trade for. You trade for Christian McCaffrey. This is a generational talent. Christian McCaffreys do not come around very often. The Panthers have mentioned that he might get traded. It's not impossible. Now, his base salary for this year, just $1 million, Carolina would save $37 million over the next 4 years moving Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey deserves better, the Carolina Panthers. He's wasting his prime in Carolina. Carolina's not going to do anything. If the Dolphins go and get Christian McCaffrey, that would single-handedly be the best thing to happen to Christian McCaffrey's career. You could go get McCaffrey, pair him up with Mike McDaniel. That would be a combination that would have the New England Patriots running for the exits in the AFC East. There's just no way that the Dolphins would not be the favorite over the Patriots if they signed McCaffrey. They're already the favorites. This would make them, I think, one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl if you were to add a player like McCaffrey. Now, I don't think the Dolphins would do this because they've signed 3 running backs in free agency. I was a little bit surprised they signed Sony Michel because they had already signed Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert. I didn't think they were going to add a third running back. They did. That means Myles Gaskin, who is on the roster still right now, he might get cut or traded, but he's RB4. So, look, I feel like the Dolphins are pretty confident in their running back room right now, but if they have an opportunity to trade for Christian McCaffrey, I would absolutely do it. Obviously, injury concerns are there with him, much like Saquon Barkley. But him with Mike McDaniel, I mean, I'm just drooling thinking about that. That would be amazing. Here is my trade idea that I've put together for Rob Wilson here. The Dolphins receive Christian McCaffrey. The Carolina Panthers receive Myles Gaskin, who just kind of a throw-in. The Dolphins don't need him at this point, especially if you were to trade for Christian McCaffrey. And the Panthers also get a second-round pick. I really like this deal. In fact, I think the Carolina Panthers might do it. Would you trade for McCaffrey? Type Y for yes or type N for no down in the comments section. Do you want McCaffrey in Miami? Miami McCaffrey, that has a nice ring to it. Thanks for watching this edition of Dolphins Today. Always appreciate y'all on our community page getting involved with the show. This has been Will Scott with Dolphins Today. Go Fins.